Hello, this is Asa Leveaux, founder of Genius Academy. And if you don't know by now what I do, I train frustrated entrepreneurs on how they can create their next $10,000 in business. That's literally what I do. Today, I am, yes, the topic of today's Facebook Live is be who you post to be. That is not that is not meant to be Ebonics in any way. That's not meant to be Ebonics. So Ebonics would be who you supposed to be, like who you are supposed to be. That's not this. I came into that phrase. I was actually a part of a conference for youth in Baltimore a few months ago, and there's a woman in Baltimore who owns a t-shirt line that literally says that on the t-shirt, be who you post to be. And she's gotten people like Tammy Romaine and Jamie Foxx to see value in her t-shirt line. So that's where this came from. So if you look it up, I know her, that's where it's come from. But the reason why I'm talking about that today is I've seen a couple of things on my timeline within the last few days. And one of those is that somebody said, entrepreneurs, you need to be careful about what you post because your potential clients are watching you. Okay, I get it. Others, I'm also seeing things that are talking about people utilizing their stories in order to make a sale. So for instance, it would be like if every time I came on Facebook Live, I told you about how I one day decided to commit suicide and it didn't happen, and as a result of this, that happened. Like every single time I'm on Facebook Live, I tell that story, but I tell that story in order for you to buy from me. So I saw a post like that too. Here's the thing. As entrepreneurs, and being an entrepreneur since I've been an entrepreneur since I was 22 years old. I am 35 years old. And don't give me that, you young. Yeah, I like being 35 years old. I find joy in that. So there's nothing wrong with my statement. I'm 35 years old. And what I have realized is that there are many different ways, many different ways to make money. And there are many different ways to market a particular service or a good or product. Totally. There are so many different ways. And who am I to judge another entrepreneur's journey? As long as things are ethical, moral, and legal, hey, the sky is not even the limit as far as what you can do. There is no judgment there. But I will say this. For some of us, it has been a struggle, a battle, a challenge to even post who we really are. For some of us haven't told our stories ever. And so where someone may think that someone is milking a story, you have no idea that telling that story is really freedom for that person. Just because you wouldn't do it, don't talk shit about another entrepreneur because they would. Because the fact is, we don't know what's going on with them. We don't know what type of trauma they're healing from. And by all means, this isn't anything particular deep, so this isn't an affront to anyone at all. Believe me, I'm 35 years old and all men of the world. I will come to your inbox if I have a real problem. And it's quiet as it kept, I knock on doors too. So believe me, this is not that at all. All I'm saying though is we just don't know. Some of us have had stories we've never told. And then sometimes the thing that we are offering to other people came as a result of us getting through that And now we want to help other people get through that by that story. That's all that is. That's totally all that is. And as far as some of us too, some of us are just now operating in our truths. For instance, I operated as an entrepreneur when I first started out. I really did my best to wipe the black away. And when I say wipe the black away, meaning though I am black, I'm chocolate in a bit. Yes, I am. I like it. However, when I first started, I was doing everything I could to sterilize my brand, sterilize my persona so that I could, cross over and I could be seen as valuable to maybe people who don't look like me. And also the people who look like me but have an issue with the chocolate that they have. Also, when, it took a long time for me to talk about what it's like being a queer black man in Oklahoma as an entrepreneur. It took a long time. And a lot of that deals with a desire to no longer be invisible. I don't want to be invisible anymore. And when someone works with me, they work with all of me. And so there may be references or communication that you may get from a queer black man that grew up in Oklahoma City. That's why I do what I do, and that's why I'm so vocal. And that's why some other entrepreneurs are vocal too about how they show up in the world and what's true for them as far as their identity. Not that they are creating a totality around a label, but rather harnessing the power with everything that they are, so that, as Maya Angelou said, you come into the door, you look like you're coming in alone, but you're really coming in with 10,000 behind you, or 10,000 before you, because of ancestors and all of those things. So I say be who you post to be. It's a layered concept. And what I've seen also is that people sometimes use it as a judgment. So you'll say, be who you supposed to be, but you're really saying, be more like me. And no one needs to be like you. Do you. Like, please, do you. I'm glad you exist. I'm so happy the divine allowed you to be a part of this world in this way. But everyone doesn't have to market the way you do. For instance, if people work with me, they know I'm going to say some off shit. I'm also going to cuss because I like cussing. It tastes good in my mouth. And for those who are offended, I'm not for you anyway. So I'm not worried or challenged by the idea that my potential clients are watching. Why? Because you're really not my client. If you don't like me saying fuck in a celebratory way, because I never cuss people out. I cuss when I get excited. Like really excited. So yeah, if you don't like that, I'm not for you. If you don't like the fact that I can make men and women make the same sound when I touch them, I'm also not for you. If you don't like the thunder from Oklahoma, I am also not for you. But I bring all of that to the table, and in a uniquely divine way that best supports me. Because that's what you get. Is some people like to say, business is business. Hey, I get it. Sometimes business is business, but we are people doing business, okay? People doing business. And I want to be able to honor who's ever in front of me, from that little crunchy little pinky toe that needs work all the way to the top of a graying head. Like, I want to honor all of that for whoever is in my space. And I desire that from me. I want to be valued and cherished and desired as well. All right? So that's what I have about be who you supposed to be. Sometimes that's a total judgment. And I will say this. Professionalism is different for different audiences. The way that you would act as when you're getting a government contract is not the same way you may act when you're getting a individual coaching client. So I don't have to act like either of those all the time. I understand where certain things are needed and desired of me in order to get what I desire. It doesn't mean I'm being fake. It just means I understand the game. I would not bring cleats to a basketball game. I wouldn't do that. That's absurd. So that's what I mean. I'm understanding the game. There's a government contract game. There's a way that I would get sponsorships from organizations. And then there's another way that I would get clients on a one-to-one, heart-to-heart, soul-to-soul basis. It's just different. And understanding the difference is key. Without judging every single body, including yourself, okay? So, all of that to say, marketing is different. If you are an entrepreneur or you're entrepreneurial minded and you would like more resources on marketing, on how to market your stuff better, there is a website up there there's a website that you can totally go to. There's a marketing course for only $10. If you want to know how to get the course for only $10 instead of what the actual price is, then say, Asa, give it to me. Like, just tell me you want it and I'll make sure you have it. And that's really all I have in this moment. Believe me, I'll have more to say probably tomorrow. But as always, I am Asa Leveaux, dreams and blessings.